Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today we're going to be talking about the newly announced Harley Davidson Sportster S. Now I know this is a popular topic on the internet at the moment, and those of you who might be cynical might think that, hey, I clicked onto this video and he's only talking about it because it's popular, but it's not true. I said before, when I make these videos on new and upcoming bikes, it's bikes I'm interested in. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride this bike. This is my 1987 Honda Super Magna. We're going to ride this a little bit. Oh, it's moving around in the back. I must check the rear tire pressure. We're going to ride this around a little bit, talk a little bit about some things that excite me on the Sportster, and then we're going to stop and talk through it some more in a quieter manner, more in style with the videos I did in the garage. It was just too nice a day today to stay in the garage and talk about this bike, so I decided to take the filming facility mobile. Anyway, Harley Davidson really recently announced, you know, their newly reinvigorated Sportster. Now I do have issues with calling it the Sportster, okay, but let's not get bogged down in that straight away. Honestly, when I spoke about Pan America not that long ago, one thing that I said excited me a lot before they announced the full specs was the fact they were very likely to put this engine into other bikes, and I'm really happy that that proved true. You know, that it was something that Harley did, and they didn't take long to do it. They did it pretty quickly, which is even better again, because, you know, the longer you delay with stuff like that, I think the more upset people would have gotten, especially with, you know, the death of the old Sportster, which I know a lot of people are upset about, but personally, not that I'm not upset, to be honest, I'm not upset about it. I'm very unlikely to ever buy a Sportster because I'm too big for them. Are they cool bikes? Oh, something really wrong with the back end there. Are they cool bikes? Yes. Was I ever going to buy one? No. Would I ever buy this new one? Maybe. And we'll go through that very soon. But I see this bike as being very similar to the likes of the Indian FTR. Oh, it's branches. Which is I think why they've done it. You know, they've taken their 1250 cc, you know, liquid cooled beast of a V-twin, and they've stuck it into something with a high rise, you know, exhaust and whatnot, very similar to the FTR. And I think I personally think they've just gone directly competition wise with that, which is really cool. You know, obviously there's other bikes out there that might be seen to be in competition, the likes of the Rebel 1100. Personally, I don't see it as a challenger to that. I think it's definitely more along the lines of, you know, the Indian FTR and maybe some of the Triumphs, just because of the styling of it. I think, and the reason why I'm saying, you know, I don't know why they call it the Sportster, is it's very unsportster-like. It's very different. It's very new. And I think it would have been a chance for them to name it something else. Like Harley back in the day had a very FTR-like bike called the XR. And I don't know, is it just purely because they wanted to base that view? They wanted to base some of the sales off hoping people would go for this bike through nostalgia. It's possible, and it makes sense. You know, keep the family going. People like Sportsters, right? I'm okay with that. I understand that. But that's kind of where the differences end. You know, it's a completely new design. It's a completely new bike. Yes, it's called the Sportster, but it's very, very different. One thing that really excites me is you know, how light the new one will feel, because the engine is an integral part of the frame, which eliminates the need for frame around your engine, which obviously saves weight, and you get to fit more engine in instead of frame, which is always a good thing. More engine means more power, and I like power. One thing to remain to be seen was, you know, will it work? And because a lot of people, I think, are not that they're upset, they're surprised by the design aesthetique. I don't know, do a lot of people like it? Personally, I think it's badass. I really, really like it. The only thing that I think is questionable is, I can't see because of the sun. The only thing I think is questionable is the front tire, like the front wheel, I should say. I know it is it's a 17 inch. The rear is a 16 inch. So it is a different size to the rear, but is it different enough? I don't know. I think they could have made it more different. but that's, you know, I personally like, when we get off this bike, I'll show you. This bike has a 19-inch front wheel, and I think it looks badass, and I really like that raked out. The same as, for instance, the Indian Chief Dark Horse. I love that raked out front look. It's just a style I personally like, and I would have liked to see that, but that's purely kind of from a selfish personal point, because I like that look. Doesn't mean you have to. But the other thing that really excites me about it is the power. So the bike is on the Harley Davidson website, is spec'd at about 128 brake horsepower, or 90 kilowatts in the Irish side, and 130 newton meters, which I don't know that in foot-pounds, but I'll throw it up on the screen now. And that is, no matter what way you look at it, that is an absolute beast of a bike. Like, in any bike, that's a beast of a bike. And that's why I think its primary target is the Indian FTR, because yeah, the FTR is probably a little bit more sportsy looking. I think it has a little bit more ground clearance and whatever else. But the thing is, most people don't use the Indian FTR for sportsy riding. They use it for on the road, like 99% of bikes that are sold. Maybe 98. I don't know how many people ride on the track. But I think that's its target. And one thing that can be taken from the likes of the Livewire, a lot of reviewers who rode that bike, even though they said electric wasn't for them, they commented on how good the bike rode. And that's what excites me. So if Harley Davidson got it right, they got the geometry set up and whatever else, and honestly I think the lines of the Sportster S share a lot of similarities with the Livewire, which is a good thing, because the Livewire was apparently an absolute blast to ride. I remember seeing Blockhead Motor ride that thing, and he honestly was having a great time in it. And the man can ride a bike. I would have loved to see a Livewire absolutely hockeyed around the track, just to see how it held up. But the fact it rides that good on the road, it's only a good thing. And if they've brought that design knowledge, that learnings they took from that, and they bring that to the Sportster S, and it has that big powerful power plant which is going down a treat with the Pan America, and they bring that across and do a good job with it, it's honestly, I just see thumbs up for Harley in their future. That's a good place to stop. We might go back there. And that's what excites me. I think they've done a really good job. Everyone's been ragging on Harley for years that they need to modernize, they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to do the other. They have modernized. The Pan America is a modern bike. That thing is badass. Ooh. And that for me is a huge part of it, is they have modernized, and I think they've done a great job. I think they've hit a piece of the market which wanted to be hit, which needed to be hit. I think it's something that Harley wanted to or people wanted Harley to do right, and I think they've done a good job. Now, apologies, I was just talking to the nice farmer man who was actually opening the gate for his son who's going to come along soon. So we'll have to be quick. But this is what I mean. This stance is what I love on a bike. Just the bigger front wheel, smaller, thicker rear wheel. I just think it looks badass. I absolutely love that style, which I know obviously the Sportster S isn't aiming for, because that would be silly. This is a Magna, that's a Sportster S. However, what I do like is the design aesthetic they've went for. I'm imagining in my head now, but that tail section, I like it. I really like the lines of the exhaust. One thing about the lines of the exhaust that obviously you're going to change is that no one's going to leave those stock exhausts on. To be honest, for a stock exhaust, I don't think it's completely hideous. Most stock exhausts now are absolutely nasty, but those are okay. I mean, they would do for a couple of months. But no, they're not staying on there. No one's leaving those things on there. And the front end of the bike, I love it. It looks like a muscly shoulders. If you were to imagine that, it looks like kind of a big dog just kind of squatting down, ready to go. And that's, I don't know, maybe I just like get into my imagination too much, but that's what I see when I look at that, and I think it's badass. I think they've done it. They've done a great job on the design, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Let's swap cameras. But anyway, I don't want to get too lost talking about this, so we'll try keep it, thanks cows, relatively quick. Basically, I think Harley have done a great job design wise. I think the design is really, really, really good. Power is excellent. I don't think you need any more power. Performance and handling and stuff obviously remains to be seen, because I haven't ridden it, but I think from the modern Harleys, you know, your Pan America, your Livewire, recent design changes, say, I think they've done a great job by all accounts. Like, anyone who's ridden them seems to really like them. Cows, I'm trying to record here. The Sportster S should handle really well, so that combined with the power and the looks, I think it's a winner. The only thing is the price here in Ireland is €17,500 new. That's on Harley's website, which is at about $20,000, I think. That's a lot of money. €17,500 for a bike of that style. It's a lot of money, but it is a Harley, and in actual relative terms in Ireland, that's not so bad. So, you know, maybe that's a more tolerable price point for me. Would I buy it in Ireland? No. But I'm not even going to get too bogged down in the price, because I don't think that's the point of these bikes. If you look for people like me, so if you're in my bracket of can't afford it, hi. I don't think that's the point of them. They are models that make people interested in the brand. The Indian FTR for me, that is my dream bike since it released. I still can't afford one. Will I get one eventually? Probably. Unless something crazy happens, I will own an FTR one day. The Suzuki Hayabusa, flagship model, I want one. Can I afford it? Also no. Is a Sportster S a flagship model? No. In the US it's relatively affordable. Is it cheap? No. It's an expensive new bike, but in relative terms it's really, Gertrude, it's okay. So, you know, I think what it's the design for me, if I was Harley, I would be saying, right, how do you get people interested in these? And the wealthier people can buy them, and the interest is such that in 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or 8 years or 9 years, when they're ready to get rid of these bikes, there's the trickle down effect. There's people waiting, there's people snipping at their heels waiting to take that bike, and, you know, 10 years from then and 10 years from then, and that's kind of the Harley ecosystem that they do so well. They keep their old bikes going, they keep the interest in them, and I think that has a lot to do with the design choices they make. They're not aiming for me. Why would they? I can't afford their bikes. I can afford them in 10 years maybe, and am I going to buy one then? Probably. You know what I mean? So that's what I think their aim probably is. They're aiming to make a beautiful bike. They're aiming to make a powerful bike. They're aiming to make a modernized bike with the modernized engine that everyone has been crying out for and laying into them for years. Well, they've done it. So cheer up. I think it's a killer bike. I think they've made something that is actually, in my opinion, it's a beautiful bike, but I do like the kind of more aggressively styled, muscly cruiser types, and I think that's where this falls into. It has flat tracker-ish tones with the exhaust and stuff, but I don't think it looks like a flat tracker. The wheels are too big. But whatever type of hybrid you want to call it, I think they've nailed it. I think it's really good looking, and it's made me want to ride it. So I think well done, Harley. Once again, I said it about the Pan America. I think they managed to make something that was really interesting, and it's a good looking bike. To some people hate how it looks, but anyway, some people hate how this one looks. The point is, they've made it a conversation piece. I wanted to talk about it. Lots of other people on YouTube wanted to talk about it. That's what they do so well. So if you've watched, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your opinions on the Harley Davidson Sportster S. Personally, like I said, I think Harley have done a great job. I think Harley have once again actually done more than I thought they would. I didn't think they'd make something that looks this good. I didn't think they'd make something that was with that engine so quickly. I really, really didn't. And I was one of those people who was really upset that the Bronx was cancelled. But I mean, this isn't a far cry from the Bronx. So yeah, I like it. Would I buy one? If I had the money, I really, really, really would. So yeah, that is my opinion on the new Harley Davidson Sportster S. I think they've done a great job. I love the engine, I love the look, I love what the performance will likely be, and again, once again, I love what that bike is going to become. It's not going to stay stock. No one's going to leave them stock. No one leaves Harley stock. Sorry, the battery in my big camera died. But basically, we'll finish this off quickly. I can't wait to see what people do with this Harley Davidson. I can't wait to see the exhaust that come out for it. The other aftermarket bits that always make Harley so interesting to me. Apologies if there's wind noise. But that is what I am personally looking forward to. Looking forward to seeing the creativity of people to make this bike what they want of it, because I think Harley have laid out a really cool, it's just a cool starting point. And yeah, it also excites me that that engine's going into things, because come on, put it into more things, put it into something that really rivals some cool bikes. Make another track bike. Harley made a track bike before, I want to see another one, or you know, a sports bike. Make another sports bike, Harley, and then I'll be happy. Anyway, if you watched, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video interesting and enjoyable. A special thank you as always to all my patrons. And I didn't make this video just for views. I made it because I'm genuinely interested in the Sportster S. And I hope it does well. I hope it does well for Harley, because I think I'm honestly just bored of hearing people saying they're going down the drain and they're terrible and all that stuff. They're not, and I think they're actually one of the most exciting companies out there right now in what they're doing, as well as Indian. It's no secret I love Indian. So yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching. Adios. Look at this outro, crew. It's so pretty. There's this big open field, and the farmer came along and just opened the gate while I was here, and he said just leave before his son gets here. So I will, but it was an absolutely scorching day, and it just turned into a lovely evening. So yeah, not many better places when it's like this. Bye.